This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
But there's another piece of business going around for TV. The WWE's coming home to the USA Network. Another big shift around this time is the company leaving Spike TV to return to the USA Network after major legal struggles between the two sides during WWE's jump to TNN, which go on to be Spike. WWE decides it's time to return to their home on USA. Meltzer would write about this. He says, when Death of WWE is written, this jump back to USA may be chapter 1. They left Spike TV for a far worse deal, which includes losing over $20 million per year in total ad revenue with the USA Network. With Vince, he thought this was more homes because it was on TV in his hotel rooms, whereas Spike was not there, when in reality, it's the same exact number of homes. It gets better. Spike blitzes USA Network in Canada, a WWE hotbed. You think John Laurinaitis signed this deal or something? Chat me up. Going back to USA, I kind of thought was a cool thing because I grew up, it feels like my whole life, watching WWF on USA. So for you guys to leave Spike to go back to USA, do you remember it being for less money, or what was the circumstance you recall about you guys leaving Spike to go back to USA?
Well, first of all, I think it's turned out all right.
Yeah.
Second of all, you have to understand the overall scope of things and understand that when you look at things with tunnel vision, you only see one thing. And when you're looking at things through a skewed view, like most so-called journalists or gossip writers do, they look for what the juicier story is, and they choose to overlook. This was a deal with NBC Universal. And the overall scope of being involved with Universal and NBC and all of its partners back home where they understood us on USA Network, USA Network regretted that we left and that we went to Spike. So it was a time of coming home, and it was a time of working together again, but also it was a time of saying, hey, look, we're not just looking at the USA Network, we're looking at NBC Universal as a whole and the different partnerships that we have and how we can utilize those. And going through and the doors that opened up, not just from one little USA Network and Monday Night Raw, across the board with theme parks, which we did partnerships with the Universal theme parks and did different things. But it was a good synergy. It was a good marriage. So it was a lot more than, and God damn. Again, when you are able to go back and you're able to have 20/20 hindsight, and you read that and you read his thoughts on it again, I think that tells you exactly where he comes from with the things that he writes and says, and his grasp with reality or lack thereof.
As a show, Unforgiven ran from 1998, fresh off of the Stone Cold Steve Austin world title win, until 2008. This year, the top feud going into the show is around John Cena and Kurt Angle, which is really a part of a larger John Cena, Eric Bischoff feud. Kurt Angle is playing the hardcore wrestling machine at this time, and it's said to be Cena's toughest challenge, as he's still a relatively new top guy, being anointed earlier in the year at WrestleMania. Before we get into the actual show, though, let's talk about the news and notes leading to the show. One of the big pieces of business is SmackDown is going to Friday night. And that's a big deal. For the first time ever, it's on Friday nights, and well, at least since its debut. And the dirt sheets are saying this is going to be a horrible move. Your old pal, Brian Alvarez, who I know is your great close personal friend, wrote, as an 18 to 34-year-old male myself, I can tell you that my interest in staying home Friday nights to watch SmackDown is nil. Though to be fair, my interest the last years.
First watch videotapes, VHS tapes of men in Japan. Okay.
I'll always tape SmackDown, though these days, to be honest, it's mostly because that's my job, and I highly doubt I'll be staying home every week to watch it live. And listen, I know that you're not a big Bryan fan, and I get it. That's going around. But a Friday night show has to be more of a challenge than a Thursday night show, right? I mean, he's not wrong on that. It's got to be, it presents a different set of challenges. We'll say that. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. I think if you had your choice, I'm not sure that Friday night would be your first or your second choice of nights of the week to put a live television show on. So yeah, it's challenging, and it's definitely challenging when you get into the summer and nicer weather. People are staying out more and going out more. So it's challenging to say the least. However, you gotta do what the networks want you to do, and you need to make moves that align with your network. And sometimes they're looking at you to be able to fill that void and hopefully bring an audience that wouldn't necessarily normally be watching television on a Friday night to that night of the week to watch TV.
You just got to assume it's going to be a challenge.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.